Okay, welcome back, and I'm going to be, in this section, I'm going to be talking about the receiver, the Spektrum AR6210 receiver, and the Spektrum TM1000 telemetry module. So I'm going to open the box, show you what's in it, and show you the important points to know about it, some of which is on the back, some of which is in the manual inside. And so let's get started. The AR6210 receiver comes from Horizon Hobbies. It's obviously proprietary to them, and costs $69.99, roughly, obviously $70. So it comes in a nice package. The top is the receiver, the bottom is a satellite antenna, and they're connected, obviously. You take the unit out, throw that away, and you have a receiver and antenna. And the channels, as you can see, are written on the side. I don't know if you can read them well enough or not, but it defines the bind data channels first, and then all the other channels go with it. The throttle, aileron, elevator, rudder, gear, and aux1. And I'll explain how each of those work when we get into the binding phase of this. So here's the user guide. It has a lot of useful information in it. Recommend you read that. The DSM guide just is a general information about how what DSM-X is and how it works. It's interesting reading. And then what comes in the small little box is a simple little plug that allows you to bind the receiver to the radio. So I got obviously dozens of those because I got dozens of Spektrum receivers. One comes in every box. So that's what's in the receiver box. Let's open up the TM1000 telemetry module. Okay, so again you get a TM1000 user manual, and you get the DSM user guide, same guide as in the other one. The TM1000 user manual explains what it is, how to put it together, and how you bind it and so forth. But I'm going to show you that in a later video about how to bind it to my DX9 radio. And this other little box is a nice little package of goodies that you're going to need. Wait a minute. Let me show you the module itself. Be careful when you're taking it out because the antenna is long and it's sort of clipped in there, so you got to make sure that you pull the antenna out carefully. And that's the TM1000 module. It's got 3 ports on the bottom where you're going to have most of the things. Then it's got another port here. This port here is called the X bus port, and that's where, if you own a GPS sensor module, and I do own one, then the GPS module plugs into the side port. Okay, so those are the two modules. Okay, now I'm going to show you the things that come with the TM1000 telemetry module. The first thing is a little pointer device that helps you do the binding. If you'll look carefully right here, there's the word bind, and on this side you'll see a little switch right there, and you press that switch with this little pointer device when you go to bind, and I'll show you that entire procedure in a future video. So this helps you bind it. And next you have a wire that goes into the data port on the bottom of the module, and so this goes in there, and the other end is a standard JR connector, and it's going to go into the data bind port of the receiver. So it'll go over here on the data bind port of the receiver. And also is a Y connector. The Y connector goes into the middle port on the bottom of the TM1000 so that you can sense both temperature and voltage at the same time if you want. And the third port I'm not going to use. It's an RPM sensor. I don't plan to put an RPM sensor in this. The one sensor I'm going to use is the temperature sensor. So that goes into one side of the Y connector, and the other side, it goes around the cylinder head to measure the cylinder head temperature of the engine. And to measure voltage, what comes with the TM1000 is a voltage sensor, which is nothing more than a wire and two black and white leads. But that you have to sort of solder together or something. So what I plan to use instead is the flight pack voltage sensor, and let me show you what's in that. So the flight pack voltage sensor has this same connector that will go into the other half of the splitter, and then this is where you'll plug the battery in, and this other end will go into the gear channel of the, we could pick any channel, but because we don't have a gear on the SIG Kadet LT-40, we'll plug this into the gear channel, and that's how the power gets from the battery through this into the receiver and powers all the servos. And so we'll be measuring the voltage of the battery as it goes into the receiver. Okay?